Kristen. Hello, I'm one of the mayors here today, and I hereby call it to order. Our March 2nd, 2021 meeting. We've really been looking forward to this. And we'll begin with an invocation by former Bryan County Board of Commissioners Chairman Jimmy Burnsid, and then a Pledge of Allegiance by Councilmember Steve Scholar. Mr. Burnsid? Thank you.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we're thankful for all that you do for us. We're thankful for the breath of life and the opportunities of life, and particularly the opportunity to live in a place like Richmond Hill, Georgia. And we thank you and we praise you for your goodness to us. We ask tonight that you would help us in our deliberations in the business that we're about to manage through, and that we will experience your grace and blessing in all of it. And once again, we say thank you as we make our prayer in your holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You've already heard from one of our distinguished guests today. I would like to welcome former Mayor Harold Fowler. Thank you for being here, and his lovely wife Teresa, and obviously former Chairman Jimmy Burnsid and his lovely wife Becky, and Dallas Daniel, our current Bryan County Board of Commissioners. Member Dallas, we thank you for being here as well. Did I miss anyone?
A couple more commissioners back.
Okay, is there a couple more? Oh, I'm sorry, Doc and Noah. Is that Noah back there? You can tell I need my glasses on. Brad. Anyway. Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
it's going south quick.
And, Commissioners Brad Brookshire and Gene Wallace, we thank you for both being here today. You'll have to tell Noah that. Who?
Karen Krupp.
Is Karen here? Where's Karen? Karen, oh, hey, Karen. I don't have my glasses on. I apologize. Thank you. Vice Chairman Karen Krupp of the Bryan County Board of Education, thank you for all being here, as well as everyone else who's turned out on this cold, rainy night. But it is a wonderful occasion aside from doing the city's business. We will move our recognition of Chairman Burnsid and Mayor Fowler to the end of tonight's meeting. We are awaiting Chairman Ron Stevens' arrival. He got caught in traffic on the way from Atlanta. We can all understand that. So we will move on now with approval of tonight's agenda. Council, is there a motion to approve?
I make a motion we approve.
Motion to approve by Councilmember Scholar. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Ward. All in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries. The consent agenda is quite long. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion to approve by Councilmember Ward. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Scholar. All in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries. Administration, Dawn Green.
Good evening. I have two items. I have first the disapproval of a request from the Richmond Hill Bryan County Chamber of Commerce to use J.F. Gregory Park for the Great Beachy Seafood Festival for October 5th through the 17th, 2021. We do recommend a COVID-19 executive order condition.
Council, we discussed this in our workshop. Are there any other questions or concerns? Is there a motion to approve?
I make a motion that we allow them to use J.F. Gregory Park for the Greater Beachy Seafood Festival, October 15th through 17th.
Motion's approved by Councilmember Scott. Is there a second? All in favor? The motion carries.
Thank you. The second item is to approve, disapprove a request from the Richmond Hill Bryan County Chamber of Commerce to serve beer and wine only at the Greater Peachy Seafood Festival on October 15th and October 16th, 2021.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion approved by Councilmember Ward. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Scott. All in favor? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Planning and zoning, Scott Allison.
Evening. First, I have a Planning Commission and Architecture Review Board verbal report. The Planning Commission and ARB reviewed building elevations and site plan for potential new Taco Bell. It's the same owner as the current Taco Bell KFC, but what he would do is separate those and move a new standalone Taco Bell to Exit 87. It's a potential project. It's not finalized yet, but they did review and approve the site plan. Also want to give you an update. The Project Falcon that was at your previous meetings for approval of the city attorney to move forward with abandonment of portions of Thunderbird. The project is non-existent any longer. They're moving in a different direction. Therefore, the city attorney's asked me to make sure that you guys understand that he's not going to be moving forward with that portion of abandonment, and the Thunderbird Drive and Shelby Lane will remain city right-of-way as it exists today. We have one item for consideration. It's the approval, disapproval of the acceptance for processing of the application for annexation by Tim Casey for 1.61 acres of land with the map and parcel number 050032 lying contiguous to the now existing boundaries of the city of Richmond Hill. Council, this is, as you're familiar with in the annexation process, this is the very beginning of a process that involves coordination with the county and Planning Commission through public hearings and subsequent meetings with you. I provided with you, or for you in your packet, a timeline. As you'll see in there, the public hearing would be held at the Planning Commission meeting on March 22nd. I do encourage you to attend. This annexation, you have the petition and all of the maps, and I have the county's current zoning, the city's current zoning, and future land use plans for both. It is a 100% method annexation. It's the right of the property owner to ask for it to be annexed. It does lie contiguous. If approved down the road, what they're asking for is for it to come into the city with a C1 general commercial zoning designation. It's currently zoned in the county as a planned development. As I mentioned, the maps, petition, and all of the zoning information is within your packet. Applicant is here, and I stand ready to answer any questions you may have at this time. But all this does is, just like previous annexations, it starts the process.
Scott, I assume that if that goes through, that falls in line with the comprehensive land use plan?
It does. It's, the future land use plans in your packet for both us and the county. You'll see that for both of us, from a future land use standpoint, it's designated for land use of mixed use with a mixture of residential and commercial within those areas. Also, I do want to add that there will be coordination with the county. It still is within their water and sewer area, as well as Belfast, Keller, and Cranston being county roads.
By the way, at the very start of this process, when the applicant spoke with planning and zoning, the county was notified, including individual commissioners.
Thank you.
Is there a home on the lot right next to that?
There is.
Yeah.
So if you look on the map, I believe I provided a better detailed location map to the, I guess, east, I'm sorry, to the west of the property. There is residential off of Cranston, not right up against, but off of. So behind the property is undeveloped parcel, and down Cranston there are single-family residential. And this is right across the street from where the main entrance to the new high school would be.
I mean, is there a house already on the piece right adjacent, right next to that lot?
There is. There are two, it's 1.5, 2 acre lots. It's not right up on the property line, but there is. So what will happen is that we, by law, have to send notices to all adjacent property owners within 300 feet of the public hearing. We also place a sign on the property that we advertise in the newspaper, so we'll make sure to get word out so we would get feedback from the adjacent residents.
Scott, is that the only house within 300 feet?
I haven't analyzed it in depth to see on our GIS yet, but my gut says from the property line, there'll be another kind of across the street and over. But based on the width of those lots, it may not reach further down. Once the one neighbor gets a letter, part of the purpose is then they'll get word out as well. Everybody will make sure to be heard or listen. But even not so much be heard as be able to hear what's really going on and be made aware of, what's happening.
They'll have an opportunity to raise their issue.
Sure.
This lot sits right on the highway, correct? Right
It
on the
does.
highway.
It does. It sits right on the corner of Prince and Belfast Hill.
Council, any other questions? Is there a motion to accept the application?
I'll make a motion to accept the application.
Motion by Councilmember Ward. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Cost. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
That's all I have.
No new business that I'm aware of. Or communications. And I received no notice for public comment. Okay. We will then commence with our presentation to Chairman Burnside and Mayor Fowler. And Representative Ron Stevens will be joining us as soon as possible. You may have heard that there's a new interchange in Richmond Hill, making us one of the few communities, especially of our size, with 3 interchanges on I-95. That wouldn't have happened were it not for the 2 men that we're honoring here tonight. And we don't only honor them for that major feat that was accomplished, we honor them for a lifelong of service to this county and to this city. To say that both men are mentors is an understatement. Both men are some of the finest Christians that I've ever met. And they moved or used that firm Christian beliefs into administrations of integrity and obviously accomplishment. And we thank you both for that. I will do these individually. They're separate proclamations, okay? Yeah, I'll continue, and then Chairman will get to the real reason why we're here. We have Ron Stevens, Representative and Chairman of the Economic Development Committee in our state. Proclamation recognizing former Bryan County Chairman Jimmy Burnside. Whereas Jimmy Burnside served as a leader of Bryan County both as a public servant and leader of the business community, serving 12 years as Chairman of the Bryan County Board of Commissioners, 6 years on the City Council for Garden City, and 4 years as mayor of Garden City. And whereas Mr. Burnside has long been recognized for the vital role he has played in leadership and his deep personal commitment to the welfare and citizens of Bryan County and the state of Georgia. And whereas during Mr. Burnside's tenure of public service to Bryan County, he increased public access to government meetings and services, partnered with local developers to obtain a public park, and helped achieve a homestead exemption tax for county senior citizens. And whereas Mr. Burnside has made invaluable contributions to Bryan County and was instrumental in securing the development of a 3rd interstate interchange in Bryan County by working with state leadership. And whereas it is fitting to recognize Mr. Burnside for his foresight and dedication to the people of Bryan County. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Mayor Russ Carpenter, on behalf of the citizens of Richmond Hill, do hereby proclaim our gratitude and admiration for Jimmy Burnside today and every day. Chairman? It's okay to clap.
Well, as I've said before, I appreciate that very, very much. Being recognized is always important, and I thank you for that. And as you know, this and about $7 will get you a cup of coffee at Starbucks.
Now for my former boss. Proclamation recognizing former City of Richmond Hill Mayor Harold Fowler. Whereas Harold Fowler dedicated 18 years to the people of the City of Richmond Hill, serving on the City Council from 1995 to 2005, and as the city's mayor for 2 terms beginning with his election in 2009. And whereas Mr. Fowler has long been recognized for the vital role he has played in leadership and his deep personal commitment to the welfare of the citizens of Richmond Hill. And whereas during Mr. Fowler's tenure as a leader of Richmond Hill, the city annexed several parcels of valuable commercial property to increase the city's tax digest and purchased land for much-needed commercial development. And whereas Mr. Fowler has made invaluable contributions to the city of Richmond Hill and was instrumental in securing the development of a 3rd interstate interchange in Bryan County by working with state leadership. And whereas the city will forever be indebted to Mr. Fowler for his guidance, outreach, involvement, and sincere passion to make the city of Richmond Hill the best city in which to live, work, and play. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Mayor Russ Carpenter, on behalf of the citizens of the city of Richmond Hill, do hereby proclaim our gratitude and admiration for Harold Fowler today and every day. Mayor.
Well, I just, you know, you can't accomplish anything without a lot of people working with you. Had a great council here in my term, and other people working with me. I'd like to thank the Rayonier people. They were very helpful, and you know, we talk about myself and Chairman Burnson, but without Rayonier and their cooperation, Representative Stevens, I mean, I couldn't have accomplished it. Chairman Burnson could not have. But us working as a team brought all this together, and I just want to thank everyone.
Chairman Stevens.
Since I'm socially distanced, I'll remove this if that's all right. I want to remind everyone the decades that this has been going on, trying to get something on Belfast Siding Road. And I look back at Jimmy and Becky here and the mayor and how the city and county really came together. And looking at Mike Bell and Bill and you know, they all showed up at the office one day, and after being told no again, you know, for another year, it's just not going to work. So somehow, said, well, what can we do? Well, we go over and see the governor, and sure enough, you know, sparks fly and magic happens, and it was just a beautiful day to get this done. But it's an honor for me today, and I do want to apologize. I walked out of a meeting, and the speaker called me back after being down the road in Atlanta. But again, I'm here, and I wouldn't miss it for the world. So, if you will indulge me. Beautiful resolution, I might add. And dedicating a portion of the state highway system to provide an effective date and to repeal conflicting laws and other purposes. Whereas Mr. Jimmy Burnson has been long recognized by the citizens of this state for his vital role that he's played in leadership and his deep personal commitment to the welfare of the citizens of Bryan County and the state of Georgia. Whereas Mr. Burnson has served as a leader of Bryan County, both as public and servant and a leader of business community. Whereas he began his career in banking industry and service with the Coast Guard, learning the trade Savannah Bank, where he saw them merge with the Georgia Railroad Bank in Augusta, where they became the first Union Bank. Whereas in 1989, he's recognized by the Bryan Bank and Trust in Richmond Hill, Georgia, dedicated 30 years of service and leading his community until his retirement. And whereas he diligently and consistently devoted innumerable hours, time and talent and energy towards the betterment of the community, as evidenced dramatically in the superlative service for 12 years as chairman of the board for the Bryan County Commission, 6 years on City Council Council for Garden City, and 4 years as mayor of Garden City. Whereas during his tenure of public service in Bryan County, he increased public access to government meetings and services and partnered with local developers to open the public park and help achieve a homestead exemption for the tax for senior citizens in Bryan County. Whereas Mr. Burns' legacy of his corporation's foresight and dedication to the people of Bryan County will be evidence for generations to come as projects such as the extension of Harris Trail and Bryan County Administrative Building and numerous other capital projects too many to mention. Whereas it is abundantly and fittingly proper that this remarkable and distinguished Georgian be recognized appropriately and dedicated this road in his honor. It is therefore be it resolved and enacted by the General Assembly of Georgia that the portion of Belfast Siding Road on I-95 in Bryan County be dedicated as the Jimmy Burnson Interchange. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you'll welcome the new Jimmy Burnson Interchange.
You didn't have to give them a history lesson. I did my wife. Thank you, sir. Well, I didn't say much a while ago, but this guy here really was instrumental. We kept pushing and shoving and talking to people on the phone, and we kept getting the pushback. And I went to Atlanta in January. It was the first year of Nathan Deal as governor. We'd been through another governor and didn't get anywhere. And I went to talk to Ron, and Ron said, well, I've got 15 minutes with the governor. You want to go in there and talk about it? And sure enough, we went in there and sat down, and Ron said, Governor, he wants to tell you something or ask you something. So we began the conversation. And I'm telling you, it was like a light came on. The governor immediately said, this, is anybody here from DOT? Okay, good. DOT had turned us down at least 3 times, maybe 4 times, because we didn't meet the traffic count there. And that was a federal thing, it wasn't state, so you can't blame DOT. But Governor Deal said, yeah, it's about traffic, but the bigger thing it's about is economic development. He got it, and he took it off and gave it to somebody else. I saw Governor Deal after, in his last year of office. Now, he was in office 8 years, right? And so we were talking, and I told him how much I appreciated the fact that we were going to get the interchange. And one thing he said was, well, boy, it does take a long time, doesn't it? 8 years. It's actually 10 years, but it got it done. And I will always appreciate Ron Stevens for that 15-minute visit with the governor. And I didn't say it a while ago, but I was getting bogged down and tired, and Harold Fowler had to help push me aside. I just take a picture right here with you. Oh, okay. And your better half will be appropriate. Here you go. Let's take these things off. This is yours. Oh, okay. Thank you, Ronnie.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll indulge me one more time, this was a team effort. And, you know, as Chris will remember, we kept running into roadblocks even after we got the okay, and somehow we'd get over it. And Anyway, the mayor has got a backbone of steel, and somehow he's just said, we're going to push this thing through. And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, today I have a resolution, 1163, dedicating a portion of the state highway system to provide an effective date and repeal conflicting purposes. Whereas Harold Fowler and Jimmy Burnstead have long been recognized by the citizens of this state for the vital role that they played in the leadership and the deep personal commitment to the welfare of the citizens of Bryan County and this state. Whereas Mr. Harold Fowler has dedicated 18 years to the people of Richmond Hill, serving on city council from 1995 to 2005. Jesus Christ. Lord help me. And the city and mayor for 2 terms beginning the election of 2009. Whereas during Mr. Fowler's tenure as leader in Richmond Hill, and the city annexed several parcels of valuable commercial property and increased the city's tax digest land for much needed commercial development, and laid the foundation for the new city complex off Highway 144 with the purchase of over 50 acres. Whereas it is abundantly and fitting that the cooperation and foresight and dedication between Bryan County demonstrated by Mr. Fowler and Mr. Burnstead be recognized and dedicated, the bridge, the brand new bridge, to be in their honor. So now therefore be it resolved and enacted by the General Assembly of Georgia that the bridge Belfast Siding Road in Bryan County be dedicated the Fowler Burnstead Bridge. And for all your, and you know, you always have to dedicate it to the wife, because 20 years is a long time in serving in public service. People forget the spouse goes through it as well. So Mayor Fowler, I am honored to give you this today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for letting me be a small part of this today. It's a great honor.
Thank you, Chairman Stevens, for everything you do for this city and this county. Council, hearing no other business, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Motion to adjourn by Councilmember Scholar. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Cox. All in favor?
All right.
We are adjourned. Thank you.